You became an MP in 2015, and we're going to see some images from the last 14 years.
My energy bills have went up 3 times. I run about the house making sure that every plug has been switched off.
That is a conversation that has come up, I don't know how many times in the last 2 or 3 years. So many people who can't afford their bills, so many businesses who can't afford their bills.
What is your solution to the energy cost of living crisis?
We will set up Great British Energy. This is a publicly owned energy company that will ensure that we have renewable energy, which is cheaper, so bills will be down permanently. And of course, we will have the opportunity to harness the next generation of jobs in renewable energy. There's a global race for these jobs. We should be in that race, and I think we can win that race. So we will set up Great British Energy as one of the first things that we do in government.
So the thing that concerns me at the moment is we've got 3 young adults in our family, and all of them say to me that they feel hopeless, they won't be able to settle down, have children, move on with their lives, simply because they've got nowhere to live.
The housing crisis is shocking. It's killed the dream of home ownership for so many people and driven them into rented accommodation, expensive rented accommodation that eats up a huge amount of their disposable income.
And what will you do?
We have clear plans to build 1.5 million houses. That will take tough decisions on things like planning, infrastructure, and the resource that is needed for those houses. But we will build those 1.5 million homes because they're vital to ensure that our young people have the future, not just that they want, but they are entitled to. We also need to tackle rent because too many landlords are forcing tenants to enter bidding wars where they're putting the rent up and up and up and up. So we need to do both of those things, but building 1.5 million homes is one of our central missions in government.
I've only been head under a Tory government. I was a deputy head and assistant head before that. And it felt different. I didn't feel like I was the enemy. It feels like I'm on the wrong side. Funding is a disaster. What we've had for the last 14 years is not good enough.
In our state secondary schools, we don't have enough teachers in the core subjects like maths. It's not a 1 or 2 year problem for a child, it's a lifelong problem. And that's among the things on our to-do list if we are able to come into power and form a government that will rebuild the country.
This is a headline about more than 1,200 migrants crossing the English Channel in 20 boats in the past week.
Yes, shocking. Rishi Sunak said, I'm going to stop the boats and you can hold me personally accountable. And now 50,000 have crossed in small boats since he became Prime Minister. I think that those gangs need to be taken down. So when I was Chief Prosecutor, Director of Public Prosecutions, we had to work with other countries to break up terrorist gangs for very obvious reasons. And they were quite sophisticated terrorist gangs. I do not accept that these gangs that are running this vile trade cannot be taken down. And if we're able to form a government, we will create a border security command, bring together different elements of policing and law enforcement, work with other countries, and take down the gangs that are running this vile trade.
This is a queue outside a dentist.
It is shocking that it's so hard to get NHS dentists, and in some places nigh on impossible. That is why we have to fix the immediate problem, which is getting the appointments we need. We've got a plan for 700,000, and the dentists we need, NHS dentists where we don't have them, but also to do much more work on preventative health so that we don't get into the mess in the first place. Oh.
So
I think I speak for the nation, don't I? Here we are, Liz Truss outside number 10, recklessly crushing our economy, making unfunded commitments, in her case, towards tax cuts for the richest, and doing damage to the economy which working people are still paying the price for. And the people who advised Liz Truss and inflicted that damage on the economy are swanning around in the House of Lords because she put them forward and Rishi Sunak was too weak to say no. Worse than that, he's now repeating her mistakes. because he's making unfunded commitments in this general election campaign. And that means he's learnt nothing from what happened. For any government of any political persuasion to take the NHS and leave it in a worse state when they found it is unforgivable, and that's what's happened here. Highest ever waiting lists, lowest ever satisfaction in the NHS. If we come into government, it will fall to us, as it always does, to put the NHS back on its feet and, in our case, make sure it's fit for the future. We'll get on with the serious job of changing the country for the better. It's not an entertainment business, it's a serious business because you're holding people's lives in your hands when you're making decisions. And it's very important we have in our mind's eye all the very many people who desperately need change. We can only do that if we have a Labour government. And that has been my central driving purpose from the very first day I decided to step forward and be the candidate for Holborn and St Pancras in the run-up to the 2015 election. And so getting on with the job, or the job I actually came in to do, will be uppermost in my mind.
Keir Starmer, thank you so much.
Thank you.